RTD Live Talk, Detroit's #1 late night YouTube talk show. We are at it again and hopefully able to actually finish this off successfully. So excited to be back for a second live stream and more stories developing. So I thought I would connect real quick and to basically just share some thoughts as well as get your thoughts from the prior conversation that we had earlier. So welcome back to this live stream. And it looks like, according to some information that just came out not too long ago, is that ultimately there's a big tech media blackout for President Trump. And so I got a couple articles I want to share with you here about how people have been calling for banning him off Twitter. And so as of now, the primary article I'm looking at first appeared about 3 hours ago. And sure enough, within the last, I think, 15, 20 minutes or so, according to the information given by the mainstream media sources, is that it looks like Trump has a 12-hour ban, which is definitely hindering his chance of commenting and throwing out little buzzwords towards its supporters as the Senate looks to continue the certification for the electoral votes or whatnot. So definitely going to be an interesting 12 hours because it basically, with no Twitter, that's Trump's ability to be able to communicate to his followers. And so that definitely puts him in a tight situation for being able to just spill out his rants and pointing a finger at whoever he chooses to do such too. So, all right, so let's dive right back in and hopefully there's no more tech issues on my side. And so we got Mama Bear in the building. It says, are you guys ready for 21? Good. God blessings all. So we got Philman. It says, RTD question, thoughts on the Georgia turning to a blue state? I am not surprised to say the least. I know that my personal opinion is that in order to actually execute this agenda of moving us towards the global reset or the Build Back Better program, they're going to need all parties, all pieces of the political structure in on the same page. And especially having a chance to watch the voting count once we got off air last night and noticing that they stopped counting at 8 p.m. And of course, both of the Republican candidates were in the lead, barely, but in the lead. And then sure enough, when I guess that voting started again, there was a spike in votes found or votes counted that put the Democrats in the lead for the most part, which lets me know it's the same thing. How could you not question how that whole process has unfolded to where Republicans come out in the lead and all of a sudden middle of the night, the Democrats or Republicans or Democrats rather take over. So not surprised at all. So what does that mean? As of right now, barring the next couple of weeks of watching how this political charades unfolds, we'll see if Biden is actually put in a position and then the Senate as well as the House are controlled by the Democrats. And that definitely puts Biden in a very good position and his puppeteers, those that are in charge of him, to continue to execute this globalist world agenda, basically destroying the last little bit of this current republic. So it doesn't surprise me one bit. All right, we got Daryl in the building. We got JJ, Florida Princess, Tony B back, Death by Debt, New York Redneck, Shane, Leonard's blue, Georgia's red. Yeah, and so just watching, just watching the visual aid of how the entire state of Georgia was predominantly red up until it closed, and then it opened up, and of course, the Republicans lost. So, yeah, man. Amelia says there's a pastor from Chicago that was in D.C. and put a video up on YouTube. Amelia, let me know what pastor you're referring to, and I'll see if I can pull it up. It says Trump has to use Twitter to educate the masses, right? Or just Trump has basically... Yeah, he's put himself in a tight position here because utilizing Twitter as his primary and only trusted medium of communicating with those that are his backers in his support group right now for the next 12 hours, basically from between now and the time this Senate confirmation process or the presidential confirmation ends, he'll be silenced. So as of right now, we won't be hearing from the president at all. And so let me actually put on the screen here the article that caught my attention. It says, let me open this up. So it says people are once again calling for the Twitter to suspend President Trump account as rioters breached the U.S. Capitol. And so this was 3 hours ago from Business Insider. And so ultimately all mainstream media, all big tech corporations, everybody right now is going full stop ahead to get this whole certification done so that there'll be no questions or whatnot. And so I wouldn't be surprised. I haven't even attempted to try to see, because I know that they said they're going to resume the counting or whatnot. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was not televised. So somebody let me know if they had a chance to see if the confirmations process will be televised still, because I would be willing to bet that it won't be televised, but we'll see. And so once this came out, it looks like Twitter responded. And then the next thing is literally like, this is, 7:13 on The Verge says Twitter says Trump's account is locked and he's facing a ban. And so it says 3 tweets contain severe policy violations. So once again, when you have big tech corporations that can silence the president of the United States, that right there is a outright coup against our United States government in its entirety. And so I'm assuming the video they're referring to is President Trump's 1-minute video saying that basically, peaceful this, go home or whatnot, violated some type of policy from Twitter. And so, of course, it doesn't stop there. Facebook and YouTube removed Trump video, calling extremists special. And so, once again, no question of those people that happened to storm the Capitol being paid activists, paid provocateurs, or anybody else. They're automatically lumped in as Trump supporters. And that basically gives them a leeway to say, hey, he's encouraging his supporters to do what they're doing. Let's ban this guy altogether. And so this is what is going on as we speak. And so for those that, because I would expect to hear Trump throughout the night tweeting away, sharing his 2 cents on this, but it looks like he's gone for the next 12 hours and we'll see what happens tomorrow. So that'll be probably tomorrow about 7 a.m. ish, assuming that whole count process or certification process might be over with. So we'll see. But this is where we're at as of now. And then, as somebody mentioned about the whole, Democrats win the U.S. Senate. As I mentioned before, it doesn't surprise me one bit. So it is what it is. So Tony B says C-SPAN has it on. Bet I'll pull that boy up there because I'm curious to see what how this continues on. But we left off in the midst of having some people call in, and I went over to Discord and told everybody that basically the computer just, glitched on me and my camera wouldn't connect. And so, first time of its kind. But anyway, let me see if I can pull this up here on the channel here. I'm curious to see how this unfolds. So let me see if there's any live coverage on the internet. Live U.S. Capitol. Okay, here goes something here. And so it looks like authentication in progress. So I might be able to catch this. So I'm curious to find out how this plays out. Now, I'm curious to get your guys' thoughts on Ted Cruz's suggestion on having an election commission. What's the likelihood of this going through based upon, I guess it has to be voted on by the majority of the House and Senate. So it's good to say I don't see that happening, but I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of those, I think it was a good portion of the House, if I'm not mistaken, and a few senators agreed to contest the electoral vote process for each states. So with this continuing tonight, will those individuals back down? Because once again, Trump can't go on Twitter with the little tweet storm calling out any of his constituents that promised to help back him. So can there be a flip-flop in those willing to contest? And could we wake up tomorrow morning and the whole process be over with? So we will see. But anyway, I don't want to rant anymore. I want to definitely connect with you guys. So let's talk. Give me a call and let me know what you guys think. And so I had a lot of great thoughts from earlier on everything that's transpired throughout the day. And let's kind of pick up from there if you guys want to, or whatever else subjects are on your mind. And another thing that came to mind, I saw some tweeting on the economic front about how, as a result of all the news today, I think the Dow was up. I think all-time new high, if I'm not mistaken, as well as the Dixie taking a little bit of a dip. And of course, how can you not be aware of what's happening with Bitcoin? And so the one question I want to put out there for those that are following all this closely, you got the Dow at all-time highs. Let's look at it, see what it is right now. I want to say it's definitely well beyond that 30,000 mark. And I'm curious to get your guys' thoughts. I want to put a question out there, and we'll see what you think. So let me get the phone lines open, and we can talk some more. Hello, caller. Which name are you calling from?
Hi, this is Casey calling from Fort Worth.
Jason from Fort Worth. How you doing, my friend? What's in your mind tonight? Give me your thoughts on this.
It actually might not be. I think it's going to be completely related to the subject, but it's regarding all the censorship. And whenever they censored Trump, it just one of the things that kind of popped in my mind was whenever everything hits the fan, we got to keep in mind that there is something called Rex 84, where all the concentration camps and all the 800 concentration camps across the U.S. And I was watching Phil Schneider talking about how they would put underground bases and stuff, underground facilities and stuff. And I was thinking, whenever everything hits the fan, if they do implement martial law and all that stuff, they're going to, the first thing that they're going to do is cut off all the communications. They're going to cut off, so we can, warn each other and stuff like that. And, I was just thinking, telling, the viewers, whenever the lights cut out and stuff like that, that's probably the best time that they're going to round up people. And who knows when it is, but I was thinking to myself, whenever the communications go out and the electricity goes out and all that stuff, that's time whenever, you need to think of what to do, either get out of there or do something. Yeah. But anyways, as far as what's going on with Trump, I don't even want to look at my phone anymore. I just want to, not even look at it for a couple of days and just something. Hopefully, something good happens within the next couple of days. If not,
it would be good. Well, hey man, I appreciate you calling and sharing your thoughts, my friend. Appreciate the call.
Thank you.
Yeah, be good. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. So, and I would say you said 800 or so concentration camps across the country, man. I'm curious to find out if anybody out there has any information on that, or I should just Google it. But I'm curious to find out how that number came about, because that's my first time hearing about 800. I think it's my first time hearing about 800 FEMA camps or whatnot. But if anybody out there familiar with that and more in depth, feel free to share an article or whatnot. Curious to find out more of that. Guillotine train. Okay. It says cut the power. So with that being the case, I am of the mindset that, when things get out of control or they happen to lose control of how things are unfolding, I could see an event where the power goes out because they want to make sure they keep everybody in the dark. Because the last thing they want is a unified nation, as far as the populace, the people themselves realizing that this is all one big sham and that we're all been this has all been lied to at the highest magnitude. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Mike, it's Barlight Broker from the internet.
Barlight Broker. How you doing, my friend? Give me your thoughts on the Twitter ban or whatever else is on your mind.
Oh man, this is all just a big act, man. I'm telling you. It seems really obvious to me anyway. Yeah.
So go ahead.
You go ahead, Mike.
No, so I was going to say, so as of now, with the banning of Trump, how does this, because apart from him ranting and just basically calling out his constituents and all those people that's supposed to be against him, does this hinder his plans at all, or ultimately you think he really don't care?
I just think he's just doing what he's told, man.
Yeah.
Remember this, Mike. It's a secret who you vote for.
Yeah.
And there's a reason. That way they can rig the elections. I don't even think they really count the votes. What would they care?
Yeah.
Who runs this country, Mike? I'll tell you who runs it. The Fed. They run every country. They always have since probably the 1800s, since they got their greedy little paws in there. It's crippled us, man. It really has. Man. It has crippled us. Yeah. And you know what?
Yeah, go ahead.
Trump talked a big game, boy. He was all about him and his rich buddies were going to bring jobs back. No jobs came back. He was going to go after the banks and the Fed and lock Hillary up and get to the bottom of 9/11. And everybody just forgot all these lies that he told that he never did.
Yeah. Yeah, good point, man. And I think a lot of people, as our economy deteriorated and they started to, it was hard to hide how bad things were getting. The whole Make America Great. Like once he started campaigning officially a year ago about Make America Great Again or whatever the slogan was, that's when I think his, diehard fan supporter base was like, this is the year, of course, the whole Q crowd really got people all just, twisted because they thinking that trust the plan. Everything is in motion. Just sit back and wait, be patient. He got this. And so all that talk throughout the last year, we're witnessing now how, is this a part of the Q plan or what? So a lot of people bought into the hype, man.
all Q was a psyop to keep people from looking farther into all this pedophilia shit that these people are doing. They're devil worshippers. Basically, if you look at the road plans of DC, it's a big pentagram. We've all been hoodwinked, and this Democrat Republican shit is just there to divide everybody, and people just keep falling for it again and again. It's like a bad magic trick, and everybody's drunk. They never see it.
Yeah. Well, hey, appreciate you calling, my man. Thanks for the call.
Okay, Mike. Have a good night.
Yeah, be good. Yeah, man. Good stuff. So I see in the chat, a lot of people, I see Big Smoke says Trump is a dud. Says Trump the clown exposed the circus. Trump was a Trojan horse in the divided states of America. Yeah, no doubt. So once again, the ultimate goal is to create as much chaos as possible to create the problem, reaction, solution, the protocol. And so once again, with the person that was allegedly killed today. And so I watching of some video footage on Twitter, a quick little 20-second clip of what looked like 4 or 5 younger individuals, of course, all white, and they got the hats on backwards. They got all the gear and everything like that of things we saw during the summers with the riots and the looters and all the terrorist activity of the young paid individuals out there destroying stuff, and they're bashing windows what looks like inside the Capitol building. They pull out a glass, and all of a sudden I think you can hear a shot, and then somebody falls. And so that footage right there appears to be the moment where that person was shot. Now, once again, false flag event. So we always know in the past, it takes one little event to then spin it as something much greater than what it really was or should be, but to accomplish an ultimate goal. So now we have a person who apparently died in the Capitol building, and every mainstream media says a Trump supporter dies and whatever. And based upon that little footage there, those people there were not a part. They're not supporters to the point where they're willing to go vandalize and destroy stuff. And on top of that, what law enforcement body or what security guard would feel threatened to where they're going to fire, they're going to shoot, I guess, one time through that glass door or through that broken glass door and hit somebody? Like, I'm not sure if that's, something that's necessarily, right or legal right at that moment, because that person was not threatened per se, or was there a warning shot fired? I mean, who knows? But all that right there smells extremely bad. And of course, come tomorrow morning, it's going to be on the front lines, the front page, everything. We may not find out who that individual is, or once again, if it's a setup, if it's a whole stage event, then they already got, actors ready to come in there and say she was such a this and she was such a that. And, if that person really passed away. So, yeah, man. But anyway, let's talk, man. I'm curious to hear what you guys think. Let me know. It says 50 independents are separate states for very specific reasons. Yeah. And so, okay, so the divided states of America, like, as I mentioned last week, with the amount of fan support that President Trump currently has, he has enough of the population to actually, once he gets his Twitter account back, or if he does, put out there that we're going to continue to contest this. I'm not conceding. And anybody who, don't want to be a part of this, let's do this. And he can start calling out things that go against anything we've ever experienced. Basically, as I setting up for that dual administration. Because with 70 something million people still thinking Trump is that guy, he deserves a second term, regardless of all the fraud stuff. Then you have those people out there who just want to see Trump gone. They could care less about truth of any kind. They're going to be on the Biden camp. And so the setup for a revolution, civil war, or whatever we call it, is right on track. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Mike, how's it going? It's Brandon Commando calling from FEMA Region 3.
FEMA Region 3. Brandon, how you doing, my man? Give me your thoughts on the matters.
I'm doing great, man. I just got back from D.C. myself. I'm a little tired. I've been walking around all day.
Yo, you for real?
Yeah, man. I went down there. I took a day off.
Yeah, so give me the rundown based upon what you saw. And did you see anything funny looking out there? Outside of the obvious?
No, we had a blast. We got there like 8 o'clock. It wasn't too crowded. It was very crowded by 9. We were probably like a football field length from the stage. The sound wasn't so hot. You couldn't really hear like the first couple speakers. But you could definitely hear Trump pretty clear.
Mm-hmm.
Trump went on for about half an hour, at least half an hour.
Mm-hmm.
He talked about voter fraud,
mm-hmm.
solid. He gave like 30, 40 examples of voter fraud all over the place.
Yeah.
hung out with lots of cool people. Everyone had a smile on their face. Everyone was like your friend. Everyone's like, where you're from.
Yeah.
I met people from Michigan, Missouri. People drove in from Iowa. People drove in from Texas. People drove up from Florida.
Yeah.
People were there from all over town, and everyone was like having a great time, friends with everybody. We walked on down to the Capitol after the stage presentation.
Yeah. Now watch this. So I was watching the little visual, the presentation on TV, whatever. And Trump mentioned about going down to the Capitol. So is there signs that he actually went down there himself, or he was just basically saying that so that those in front of him would head down that way?
Yeah, I mean, I talked to some people around me, and I guess they knew the plan was to walk down to the Capitol after Trump was done speaking.
Yeah. Okay.
So we all did. We all marched. It was pretty cool. Tons of people, like, flooded D.C.
Yeah.
And we got to the Capitol building, and then people were like, yo, we're going in. And I'm like, you're doing what? They're like, we are storming the Capitol. I'm like, I think you guys are a little insane. But they did, man. They ran up the stairs even before we got there. They were already inside even before I got to the lawn.
Really?
So a bunch of people ran up inside, and they had a bleacher set up. I guess they're getting ready for the inauguration.
Yeah.
So they have like bleachers and spectator stands set up, and people just filled the stands. They filled the steps. They were like occupying the patio outside the Capitol. I guess a bunch went in the Capitol.
Yeah.
And you really couldn't tell. You could hear some flashbangs going off. You could see some smoke grenades being thrown, but like there wasn't a very large police presence at all. Like there was almost no police at all.
Which is very suspicious, because I'm thinking with all those people down the street, wouldn't you have people in front of the building just in case something jumped off, or unless that wasn't part of the plan?
Yeah, I doubt it. I mean, I see more police in Philadelphia on a daily basis than you would at this Million MAGA march.
Yeah.
And as for the National Guard, I saw maybe 10 or 15 of them, like just hanging out, like not doing anything really.
Yeah, so they probably told to stand down and do nothing and just let things unfold. And I wonder what's happening right now as far as the whole curfew situation. So. I
mean, we all kind of started leaving around 4. Like the weather started to turn. It was cold and windy.
Yeah.
But I didn't see any fights. I didn't see any arguments. I didn't see any like Antifa presence. I didn't see any Black Lives Matter presence.
Yeah.
It was really just a bunch of patriots like standing around waving flags.
Yeah. Now, so I assume you didn't see any bricks just randomly posted up anywhere, and anything like that.
No. No, I didn't see any like gang type situations where like people were like squaring off.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked like people were just having a good time. I had a great time.
Yeah. Well, hey, Brando, appreciate you calling in, man, and giving us your perception of everything from your time down there, man. Thank you for calling in, boss.
One more thing.
Yeah,
a lot of hopium in the crowd. People are drinking the Kool-Aid real strong.
Yeah.
Like as far as everything Trump says, people really believe this like Q type thing that he's going to pull a rabbit out of his hat.
Yeah, and that right there is setting up people. That's setting up people for danger, man, because they're sitting around, as you mentioned, the hope aspect, waiting on the last minute, and have nothing, and the likelihood of something occurring that's favorable for this country is not likely. So, just because it's too deeply rooted, our country is it's a cesspool of evil. Like, no type of card he can pull out of his hat that could, unroot any of this, man.
But if he was going to really unleash and drop a couple of bombshells, it has to be in the right context. And as we know, most people can't handle the truth.
Right.
So if Trump just started like rattling off all this like pedophile shit, people wouldn't believe it.
Right.
So he almost has to go through the political theater to set it up to a point where people would believe it.
Right. Now, if there was any chance of this actually being a part of a plan and him needing to find out exactly who all is in on this, definitely Mike Pence. His action today of not doing anything favorable to what Trump was recommending he do. If Mike Pence go ahead and certify this tonight or tomorrow, it'll show that from the VP all the way down to your local mayor in your local city, they're all a part of this plan. Now, how do you bring that down? Like, how do you, come on now. So that's the problem. Like, it's too great of a mess to try to correct in a couple of weeks or something like that.
Yeah, I tend to think that the corruption is deeply rooted also, and you wouldn't be able to flesh it out, I don't think.
Yeah. Well, we'll see, man. So I I would like to say that, Lord willing, if it's the Lord's will, then something can be done. So that, God can do it if it's a part of the plan. But I'm not going to hold my breath, man. But yeah, man, appreciate you for calling in, my friend.
That's all, Mike.
Yeah,
Have a
be
good
good.
one.
Yeah, man. Good stuff. I appreciate the call. Give me a call. Let's talk. Got a couple more minutes logged in here, and I want to just get as many thoughts as I can. And so one of the questions I want to throw out there before we got into some of those calls was to talk about, at this current moment, the mainstream financial news networks focuses on the Dow. Wherever the Dow goes, that's where the so-called health of our economy is at. The economy is doing great. Dow is at all-time highs, 30,000. So as I look right now, it's about, what is it? Dow futures is at about 30,000-ish. So given the fact that we're told to look this way at the old archaic financial markets that's dying eventually, and then over here, we got this newer technology in the digital asset space. So you got $30,000 over here, 36,000, 37,000 Bitcoin on this side, give or take. At this current moment, what is more exciting to you? If you look at this screen here, you see all this green on here, which is a revolution in of itself, heading in a totally different direction than what we've been told to work towards, save, and to turn your assets over to a financial advisor to put it in, 60% bonds, 40% stocks, or, all that other stuff. Where do you stand as of now watching this unfold? What would you rather have in your possession? One Bitcoin at 37,000 or one share of the Dow? I'm curious to find out. Let me know in the chat, whether you want a BTC or a DOW. Or give me a call and let me know your thoughts on this. And we'll finish off tonight with this topic here, because I'm curious to see, because as of now, this is looking mighty interesting. You see all this green here. It's hard to not want to find out more about it. But anyway, give me a call. Let's talk. Man, it says no one agrees with Mike. What we got here? No one agrees with you. So says, didn't they know that when you argue a court case in court, you have to submit evidence? Now, conspiracy theories, I've seen better heads on lettuce. Goldie. Yeah. And so once again, when it comes to all the talk about fraud and this and that, every single Democrat especially, and even the bought and paid for Republicans, like at this current moment, Republicans and Democrats, they're all on the same team ultimately. They're all a part of the Build Back Better program towards that one world agenda. One thing I've never been able to understand is how can you willingly sell out your country and your future, children's future, without any type of concern, as if like there's any win for you at the end. Like there's no Federal Reserve or Fiat note worth completely ruining your own posterity. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just not, I just can't understand it, but that's, I'm assuming some things you won't be able to understand when it comes to that level of evil. But I'm curious to find out what you guys think on this matter here. Anybody got any thoughts you want to share? And of course, even for the people who are not, digital asset friendly, or people who actually are paying attention to this space over here. Oh yeah, right here. This space right here. It's no way you can ignore this type of activity, where this is a part of the wealth transfer that we've been talking about for several years now, of how newly created funds. So this year coming up, I'm anticipating, we're definitely going to surpass the 10 trillion mark with this next round with what Congress just approved at 2.4. That definitely puts us around 9 or so trillion that's about to be added to the Federal Reserve balance sheet. And then as we get into this year, with all the programs that might be rolled out under Biden or Trump, we'll add another 2 or 3 or 4 on top of it. So we're probably looking at, before summer, maybe 16, 17 trillion on the Federal Reserve balance sheet, and maybe a couple more rounds of paychecks, because Biden made it clear that first thing they're going to do when they get in office, they're going to make sure people get $2,000 checks. So there's going to be probably checks coming every other month or so, which gives them a way of diverting your attention from what they're going to try to orchestrate as far as bringing this house of cards down. So I'd imagine that we're going to be at a 17, 18 trillion balance sheet summertime-ish, give or take. And that's not to mention all the other entities and, debt loans and derivatives and all of that stuff is imploding. And so that's eventually going to rear its head above ground in regards to the prices of things that you and I like to or need to consume, such as food, gas, light, shelter, whatever. And then on the other hand, it's going to reflect an inflation of the, metals prices, because there's no way metals will be able to ignore the amount of liquidity that's coming. And then you got the preferred space, which happens to be right here. So we can easily see at this current trend, the way this thing is going, barring some correction, 60,000, 70,000 Bitcoin within a couple of months. And it's no denying that that's a place where a lot of people are receiving that, being a recipients of that transfer. But what else you got here? So anyway, with that being the case, people, I just want to check back in, apologize for earlier because I was booted off due to, no fault of my own, I don't think. But as always, for those that are tuning in, man, hit that thumbs up button beneath the screen. And also, for if you have not, as I mentioned before, trying to make sure that I keep you guys up to speed throughout the day. So feel free to check out rethinkingthedollar.com, where you get a chance to see articles as they come out, and then also some videos of my recommendations of things you guys should keep your eyes on. So other than that, be blessed, be safe, and then also, while you're at it, get your weight up, people. There's still weight out there to be had. Take advantage of the prices. If I can remove this, or probably won't be able to remove that. Anyway, about to head over real quick to the Discord page. So if you click the link below to the social media platforms, you'll see Discord here. I encourage you guys to join it if you haven't already, so you can stay up to date with what's going on in the community and talk amongst yourselves in the Discord. So had some good discussions earlier in there. So anyway, people, be blessed, be safe, and as always, yeah, man, back at it tomorrow, Lord willing, same time, same place. Peace. Hey there, sorry for this interruption, but I wanted to bring something to your attention. If you've been enjoying this live stream, why don't you partner with me and be a support to the channel via Patreon membership for just a minimum of $5 a month. All you have to do is scroll down beneath this video here, click the Patreon link, then consider donating as little as $5 a month towards the channel. A little bit of crumbs can go a long way, and I appreciate your support. Now, let's get back to this live stream.